Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a new cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. The House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review has proposed the creation of 31 new states in the country. If the proposal scales through, the Nigerian state will be made up to 67 subnational governments. The proposal for new states was contained in a letter read during plenary session by the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who presided over the session in the absence of the Speaker Tajuddin Abbas. Bandits have reportedly kidnapped the former Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Maharazu Siga, retired, in Siga Village, Bakori local government area of Katsina State. The bandits also killed one person and abducted at least 9 others, even as they were said to have ransacked several homes, carting away valuables. Katsina State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Abubakar Sadiq confirmed the attack. The Senate has approved President Bola Tinubu's request to terminate the appointment of 3 independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) resident electoral commissioners (RECs) in charge of Sokoto, Abia, and Adamawa states. The affected officials are Dr. Nura Ali, Sokoto State, Barrister Hudu Yunusa Ari, Adamawa State, and Professor Ikemefuna Chijioke Uzochukwu, Abia State. The decision followed the Senate's consideration of a motion sponsored by Senate Leader Okpayemi Bamidele during Wednesday's plenary session. President Bola Tinubu has condoled with parents, guardians, and families who lost their loved ones in a fire incident that engulfed an Islamic school in Kaura, Namoda, Zamfara State. Tinubu conveyed his condolences in a statement signed by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, titled President mourns Zamfara Islamic School pupils, says safety should be uppermost to proprietors. President Tinubu commiserates with the state government and owners of the school and prays for the quick recovery of those receiving medical attention. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening Nigeria's security architecture, assuring that he has prioritized national security as a fundamental aspect of his governance. He stated this at the Chief of Defense Staff Joint Task Force Commanders Conference in Abuja. Tinubu, represented by the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, lauded the military and security agencies for their relentless efforts in combating security threats across the country. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has led a high-profile Nigerian delegation to initiate the repatriation of refugees who fled the Boko Haram insurgency to Bagasola, Chad Republic. The delegation, which included the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Dr. Yusuf Yununu, and the Federal Commissioner and Chief Executive Officer of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, was received in Bagashola on Wednesday by the Governor of Lak Province, Saleh Tijani. Reports displayed persons, mostly Borno indigenes, have spent nearly 10 years away from their homelands due to the insurgency that affected communities around the Lake Chad Basin. The first phase of the repatriation exercise, 1,768 families comprising 7,790 people will return to Nigeria. Imo State government has vowed to prosecute illegal miners responsible for widespread environmental destruction. Commissioner for Industry, Mines and Solid Minerals, Ernest Ibejiako, made the declaration during an unscheduled inspection of the affected sites in Irete Owerri West local government area of the state. Global Television's Amarachi Ibe was there for us.
A stable industrial hub, Irete Industrial Area now bears the deep scares of unchecked illegal mining. Solid ground turned into hazardous pits filled with water. The land stripped of its natural stability poses a serious risk to surrounding communities. On citing the commission and his team, several illegal miners fled, leaving their tools behind. However, security operatives apprehended 3 suspects.
His Excellency is desirous of reactivating this industrial layout and making it very functional. But right now you can see yourself, they're destroying the environment. Every attempt to stop them has failed. So therefore we'll prosecute these people that own all these machines, and they'll come and reclaim this place.
Ibejiako stated that the state government will not tolerate the level of environmental destruction, assuring that those responsible will be prosecuted.
You can see the extent of damage to the extent that they have created a lake here now. How do we recover this land? So, but the law says that if you have devastated a place, you recover it. So they must come, they must report to the ministry for proper assessment. If anybody has given them any license to dredge here, they will let them bring it.
Illegal mining remains a growing concern in Imo State, leading to several land degradation and endangering communities. Authorities insist that stricter enforcement measures will be put in place to curb the menace. In Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
The Edo State Governorship Election Petitioner Tribunal has adjourned proceedings to Monday, February 10th for the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo, to open his case. This development followed the failure of the Independent National Electoral Commission, which was scheduled to present its witnesses starting February 6th to do so. INEC's lead counsel, Kanu Agabi, informed the 3-member panel led by Justice Wilfred Okpochi that they would not be presenting any witnesses after giving it a thought at the end of Wednesday's proceedings. The United Nations World Food Programme says it has budgeted $2.5 billion in the 2023 to 2027 Nigeria country strategy plans geared towards achieving zero hunger and improved nutrition across the country. The head of program, WFP, Serien Loom, says made this known at the co-creation workshop organized by the organization in collaboration with the National Social Investment Program Agency on Wednesday in Abuja. Loom, who represented the program's country director, says the World Food Programme's strategic goal is to ensure a world without hunger in line with the Sustainable Development Goals 1 and 2 on poverty and zero hunger. The Lagos State government hosted members of the Food and Beverages Recyclers Alliance on a courtesy visit to discuss the modalities for the enforcement of the ban on single-use plastics, emphasizing that full enforcement will commence very soon. Speaking at the meeting held in the conference room of the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources, Commissioner Tokunbo Wahab reiterated the government's commitment to the SOP ban, describing it as strategic and intentional. Wahab stated that the discussions also covered extended producer responsibilities and ongoing efforts by Food and Beverages Recyclers Alliance to collaborate with the government. The Katsina Command of the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency has called for collective efforts to address drug abuse in the state. The agency's commander in the state, Mohammed Aminu Abubakar, made the call in Katsina during sensitization and advocacy for women and youth on drug abuse awareness and prevention. Aminu Abubakar expressed the need for the people of the state to contribute their quota in the fight against drug trafficking and abuse. The Niger Delta Development Commission has begun the payment of 50,000 Naira monthly stipend to 10,000 indigenous youths from the Niger Delta under its Youth Internship Scheme. The Director of Corporate Affairs at the NDDC, Seledi Thompson Wakama, disclosed this to journalists in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital. She explained that the beneficiaries would undergo practical hands-on training across the various organizations for 12 months to develop critical skills. In another development, the suspended Edo State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Samson Osage, has denied committing financial infractions. Osage was suspended alongside the chairman of Edo State Local Government Service Commission, Damian Lawani, for alleged official and financial infractions. However, in a statement, Osage denied the allegations against him and expressed readiness to defend himself and prove his innocence. The Kwara State Police Command has foiled 2 kidnapping attempts and arrested 4 suspects in the Baruten and Ifelodun local government areas of the state. In a statement, the command's spokesperson Adeotun Ejire Adeyemi says the arrest followed intelligence-driven operations by the anti-kidnapping squad and the State Criminal Investigation Department. According to the statement, 2 suspects, Tukuru Mohammed and Yahya Abdullahi, were arrested at Baruten for attempting to extort 4 million naira from a resident of Abuja Fulani camp, Elisha Baruba, after initially demanding 20 million naira. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. When News Cycle returns, Trump bans transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. We'll bring you details of this, as well as business and sports stories right after the break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. In business, Dangote Refinery has made headlines again with its 3rd major reduction in diesel price in less than 3 weeks. The company has slashed the price of diesel to 940 naira per litre and aviation fuel to 980 naira per litre. Our news crew went to town to get reactions of Nigerians to this development.
Dangote Petroleum has made headlines again with its 3rd major reduction in diesel price in less than 3 weeks. The company has slashed the price of diesel to 940 naira per litre and aviation fuel to 980 naira per litre. It is on this premise that we took to the street to gather reactions from Nigerians on this latest development.
God have blessed us. But what are we getting from it? The government, are they helping? Let's say they are helping, but we're supposed to have the refinery from our own government so that the government-owned people will say, even the time will come that people will say, okay, Dangote zone is expensive. Let me buy a $10 only for $10 house. Adeleke house, okay, Adeleke own is more cheaper. Even his own is not even burning faster. His own is better. When we have so many PMS in the society, everybody will decide on which one to go for.
And honestly, I wouldn't know whether they have affected it from for their meter. These so-called retailers. But it's a good development.
Yeah, as at yesterday, the day before yesterday, the one I bought 990 something naira, the price was a little bit down, so it's a bit economical to me. But hopefully, we are still looking at the government. If they can still come back to the price of 600 naira, that will sound better for us.
It tells us we want the thing to affect our food, like food price. I want the food price to be reduced so that we can normalize in this country.
It's when I see it, the reality, then I really believe. And if actually it's true, definitely it's going to be there will be a serious relief to the common man. Nigerians need this. Fuel increase, everything about fuel affect the economy very well. Anytime there is a fuel hike, it affects transportation. It also affects the cost of living.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has urged the Federal High Court in Abuja to allow it to join the 100 billion naira lawsuit filed by Dangote Petroleum Refinery seeking to stop the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and oil marketers from importing refined petroleum products into the country. However, Dangote Refinery opposed the Commission's application to join the suit, describing the Commission as a middle-sum interloper and has no business in a case revolving around the Petroleum Industry Act, an act of the National Assembly. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission says it needed to be allowed to join the suit as a defendant in order to oppose Dangote Refinery's suit. In a bid to improve the lives of Nigerians, the federal government has expanded its palliative program to support students across the country and residents of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, building on the success of its previous distribution in Imo State. In a statement from the Finance Ministry signed by the Director of Information and Public Relations, Mohammed Manga, noted that the Minister of State for Finance, Doris Uzoka-Anite, while distributing the palliatives over the weekend, emphasized that the gesture will address immediate needs and form part of the broader economic reform agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration. Uzoka-Anite noted that these palliatives serve as a bridge while the comprehensive economic reforms take root. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory have been left stranded and struggling with fuel shortages following the sudden closure of several retail outlets owned by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited within the capital city. It was gathered that the stations closed for some days were allegedly ordered by the management of the national oil firm and will continue till next week. The closures, attributed to logistical challenges, have led to long queues at remaining stations, with many motorists and commuters facing hours of delays. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has released new guidelines which permits Bureau de Change operators to purchase up to $25,000 weekly from authorized dealer banks, ADBs, to meet retail market demand. In a circular signed by Dr. W.J. Kanya, the acting director of the Trade and Exchange Department at the regulatory bank, the Apex Bank, also outlined the compliance requirements to ensure transparency and curb potential forex misuse. On the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to ban transgender athletes from participating in women's sports. Trump says on Wednesday, before he signed the order at the White House, surrounded by dozens of children and female athletes, that from now on, women's sports will only be for women. With this executive order, the war on women's sports is over. Trump's order allows U.S. government agencies to deny funds to schools that would enable transgender athletes to compete on women's teams. Hundreds of Bangladeshi protesters have smashed down buildings connected to ousted former leader Sheikh Hasina on Thursday, hours after students with excavators began demolishing a museum to her father. The museum and former home of Hasina's late father, Bangladesh's first president Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, had been set on fire last year during the students-led revolution that ended her 15 years of autocratic rule. Protests were triggered in response to reports that 77-year-old Hasina, who had defied an arrest warrant to face trial in Dhaka for massacres. In sports, Rangers international coach Fidelis Ilechukwu appears to have accepted the harsh reality of their fading Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) title defense, with an 11-point gap separating them from leaders Remo Stars after 22 games. Despite bouncing back from a 2-game losing streak with a 2-0 win over Ikorodu City on Monday, Ilechukwu remains cautious about their chances. However, Ilechukwu, who had previously expressed confidence in their title chase, now appears less optimistic. And that's it on Global Television's news cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on StarTimes channel 276, and free-to-air on NigeConsult. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching. See you again.